Most women over 60 are wearing at least one color right now, today, in their actual closet. That's quietly adding years to how they look, and almost none of them know it. It's not your weight. It's not your wrinkles. It's not anything about you at all. It's the color sitting 2 feet from your skin every single time you get dressed. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which 7 colors are doing this, why they're doing it, the actual science of it, not just an opinion, and what to reach for instead, using things you probably already own. So stick around, because color number 4 is the one almost every single woman in this comment section is going to admit to wearing this week. Here's why this isn't small. Color sits closer to your face than almost anything else you put on your body. Before anyone reads your expression, your posture, anything about who you are, they register color first. It's the fastest thing the eye processes, faster than shape, faster than fit. And there's one color on this list, number 5, that almost every stylish, put-together woman over 60 still owns multiples of. Completely convinced it's one of her best colors. It's not. And once you hear why, you'll go check your closet before this video even ends. Welcome back to Style After 60, where we figure out, piece by piece, what actually works for the woman you are right now, not the rules someone handed you 30 years ago. If that's your thing, hit subscribe. It helps more than you'd think. Let's get into the colors. Color 1, and I know this is going to ruffle some feathers, is true jet black, worn right up against your face. I get the instinct completely. Black has been the safe choice for decades. Slimming, sophisticated, goes with everything. We've all heard it 1,000 times, and for most of our lives it was true, so it became automatic. You don't even think about reaching for it anymore. It's just what goes in the closet first. Here's the actual mechanism, though, and stay with me because this part actually matters. As skin matures, it naturally loses some pigmentation and produces less of the oils that give it that youthful sheen. That's not a flaw, that's just what skin does over time. The same way hair eventually loses pigment too, completely outside anyone's control. Jet black is the most extreme, high-contrast color that exists in clothing, worn right at the neckline. It forces the skin next to it to work incredibly hard to keep up with that contrast, and skin with less natural vibrancy simply can't compete on those terms. Every shadow under the eyes, every uneven patch, gets thrown into sharper relief, because the black is doing none of the softening work. It's doing the exact opposite, actually amplifying whatever it sits next to. I had a client a couple of years back, mid-60s, who wore black turtlenecks almost daily, her signature look. She called it. In every single photo from that period, she looked exhausted. Even on days she told me she felt fantastic. We didn't change her wardrobe philosophy at all. We just swapped the black turtleneck for a deep charcoal one. Same silhouette, same uniform feeling she loved. The very next photo, her sister asked if she'd been sleeping better. The fix isn't banning black, and I want to be really clear about that, because some of you are already bracing to disagree with me. It's moving it away from your face. Black trousers, a black skirt, a black bag, all completely fine. Genuinely no issue. Because they're far from your skin, near your face. Swap it for a deep charcoal, a soft black-brown, or layer a black jacket over a cream or jewel-toned top so there's a buffer color doing the work right at your neckline instead of the black doing it alone. Do it today. Take your favorite solid black top and hold it up under your chin in daylight, not store lighting, which flatters everything and tells you nothing true. Then hold up a deep charcoal or navy next to it. Watch your own under-eye area in the mirror, not the color itself. One of them is going to visibly relax your face. That's the one to reach for tomorrow morning. But black isn't even the color people get wrong the most. There's one hiding in almost every safe wardrobe that's doing something sneakier. Color 2. Washed out. Pale pastels. The really light baby blue. The pale powder pink. The faded lavender. This one genuinely surprises people because we were taught pastels were the gentle, age-appropriate choice. Soft, safe. Nothing could possibly go wrong with soft. That was basically the entire pitch, decade after decade, in every catalog aimed at women our age. But here's the mechanism. Very pale colors don't have enough pigment strength to create contrast against the skin. They essentially blend into it instead of framing it, the way a white wall and a white picture frame disappear into each other if you don't add a shadow line between them. If your hair has gone silver, white, or gray, the problem compounds significantly because now you've got pale hair and pale clothing and lighter, more neutral-toned skin, all sitting in the same narrow range with almost nothing to separate one from the other. The eye literally can't find an edge to focus on. Everything reads as one soft, flat blur instead of a face with real definition and presence. The fix is depth, not abandoning the color family you love. A soft teal instead of pale baby blue, a warm raspberry instead of powder pink, a rich periwinkle instead of faded lavender. Same emotional feeling, soft, gentle, approachable, exactly the vibe you were going for, but with enough pigment in the fabric to actually do something next to your skin instead of disappearing into it entirely. Do it today. Go find your palest top, the one that always felt safe. The one you reach for without thinking. Stand by a window in natural light and just look at your own energy level in the mirror, not the top. Then do the exact same thing with anything you own in a deeper, richer version of that same color family. Most women feel the difference in their own face within about 3 seconds, and it's almost always more dramatic than they expect. Color 3, quick one, the murky, swampy earth tones, flat khaki, dull olive, muddy mustard, brownish rust. Fast mechanism. These colors carry a greenish or yellowish undertone that, worn close to the face, visually overlays onto the skin itself, almost like a tint. It's not your skin getting duller, it's the color casting its own shadow onto it. The same way standing under a green awning gives everyone underneath a faint green tint they didn't ask for and can't see in themselves, only on each other. The fix. If you love that earthy palette, and plenty of women genuinely do, reach for richer, clearer versions instead of giving it up entirely. A true forest emerald instead of olive, a clear amber instead of muddy mustard, a deep rust red instead of flat brown rust. Do it today. If you own a flat olive or muddy mustard top, try it on next to a window and watch your complexion for 30 seconds. No makeup if you can manage it. If you look a little gray or tired, that's the undertone talking, not your skin, and not your sleep schedule either. And here it is, color number 4, the one I told you at the very start almost everyone watching is going to be guilty of. Color 4 is safety beige, the flat, faded, no statement tan or sandy neutral that so many of us reach for because it feels like it can't possibly go wrong. I understand this one completely, maybe more than any other on this list, because beige feels responsible. It feels like the adult choice, the grown-up choice, the choice nobody can criticize. Nobody ever got told off for wearing beige. It's the wardrobe equivalent of staying quiet in a meeting. Technically safe, but it doesn't actually do anything for you either. But here's the mechanism, and it's almost the exact opposite of what most of us would guess. Beige works by blending. That's its entire design function, structurally, to recede, to not compete with anything around it. Against younger skin with more natural pigment and contrast, that blending effect is barely noticeable, because the skin itself is doing enough work on its own. Against skin that's naturally softened in contrast over the decades, beige doesn't just blend with the outfit anymore, it blends with you. Specifically, directly, right at the point where people are actually looking when they talk to you. There's no separation left between your face and your clothing, and a face with no separating frame around it reads as tired to the people looking at it, even when you slept perfectly fine. Even when you feel completely energized walking out the door. The fix isn't ditching neutrals, and please don't hear that as the message here. It's choosing a neutral with enough warmth or depth to actually frame your face instead of merging with it. A rich camel instead of flat beige. a warm cream instead of sandy tan, or simply adding one genuinely vivid piece near your face whenever beige is doing the heavy lifting elsewhere in the outfit, like your trousers or your bag. Do it today. Next time you reach for that beige top, grab a scarf or a necklace in an actual color, emerald, sapphire, a true red, whatever you already own, and put it on right at the neckline before you leave the house, not as an afterthought once you're already out the door. Watch what happens to your own reflection in that moment. That's the entire fix, and it costs you nothing extra in your closet, because you almost certainly already own the piece that solves it. That's the one. Told you so. But we're only halfway, and the next one is going to make some of you laugh, because it's not the color you'd ever expect, and it has nothing to do with anything you'd guess right now. Color 5. The wrong yellow for your undertone, specifically a warm, golden yellow worn by someone with cool undertones, or vice versa, a cool, icy yellow worn by someone whose undertone is warm. Here's why this one's sneaky, and honestly why it took me a long time to start mentioning it to clients. Yellow has a reputation as the cheerful color, the happy color, the color you reach for on a gray day to feel a little brighter. So almost nobody questions it the way they'd question, say, black or beige. It just doesn't occur to most of us that yellow could be the wrong choice the way other colors get scrutinized. The mechanism is precise, though, and worth sitting with for a second. Skin naturally has either a warm or cool undertone underneath it. Nothing to do with how light or dark your skin is, just the underlying cast beneath the surface. When the yellow you're wearing fights that underlying cast instead of matching it, it visually pulls toward any yellowing already present in the whites of the eyes or even the teeth, which is just an ordinary, completely unremarkable part of how all of us age. Nothing to be self-conscious about on its own. It's a small effect in isolation, but it stacks with the wrong yellow sitting right at the collarbone, and the brain reads that stacked effect, fairly or not, as looking tired or unwell rather than vibrant and put together. The fix is simple once you actually know your undertone. If you're cool-toned, skip the golden, mustard-leaning yellows entirely and reach for a clear lemon or icy yellow instead, which sits comfortably in the cool family and won't fight you. If you're warm-toned, the rich golden yellows are actually one of your best possible colors. The issue here was never yellow itself as a color family, just wearing the wrong specific shade of it for your particular chemistry. Do it today. Hold a piece of gold jewelry and a piece of silver jewelry up to your face side by side in daylight. Right now, if you have both within reach. Whichever one makes your skin look brighter and more awake is your undertone family. Gold for warm, silver for cool. That single 2-second test tells you exactly which yellow, if any, actually belongs in your closet going forward. Color 6. Harsh. Fluorescent neon, acid yellow, electric pink, traffic cone orange. I'll be quick here too, since this one's fairly intuitive once you hear it. These colors were genuinely designed to need youthful, high-luminosity skin to balance out their intensity. That's not an opinion or a stylist's taste talking. That's simply how saturated fluorescent pigment behaves against any surface it's placed near, human or otherwise. Mechanism. Mature skin typically has a softer natural contrast than it did decades ago, and neon's entire visual punch depends on contrast. It's essentially borrowing from the skin underneath it. Without that high contrast base to bounce off of, neon doesn't look fun and energetic the way it's supposed to. It looks like it's fighting the face wearing it, and losing. The fix is simple substitution, the same energy, the same fun. Turn down exactly one notch in saturation, a coral instead of neon orange, a deep fuchsia instead of hot pink, a rich turquoise instead of electric blue. All the personality you were going for, none of the fight at the collarbone. Do it today. If you own anything neon, try it next to its richer, slightly deeper cousin in the same color family, and notice which one actually makes you look more awake and present. Not just brighter on paper. And color 7. The last one, an all-over monochrome look in any single muted neutral, top to bottom, one tone, no breaks anywhere in the outfit. This is the gentlest mistake on the list, because nobody's doing this thinking it'll backfire. Monochrome feels chic. It feels put together. Intentional, like something out of a magazine, and in plenty of contexts, on plenty of people. It absolutely is exactly that. Here's the mechanism. With zero contrast anywhere in the outfit, the only contrast left for the eye to register is your own face against the single-tone backdrop of everything you're wearing. Head to toe, if your natural coloring has softened over the years, which happens to all of us, that's now the only thing doing visual work in the entire look, and it's genuinely a lot to ask of one feature to carry an entire outfit completely alone, with no support from anything else you're wearing. I think about a woman I styled last year who showed up in beautiful, head-to-toe taupe, gorgeous fabric, perfect tailoring, clearly expensive, and in photos from that day, she looked like she'd faded into the background of her own dinner party. We didn't change the outfit. We added one belt in a deeper bronze tone and swapped her earrings for something with actual color. Same taupe, everything else. Completely different photo an hour later. The fix is breaking the monochrome with just one contrast point, a different neutral 2 shades apart. Like gray with beige, or one genuinely colorful accessory near the face. You don't need 2 colors fighting each other for attention in the same outfit. You need one small relief valve so the eye has somewhere else to go besides your face, standing there entirely on its own. Do it today. Take any all-one color outfit hanging in your closet right now and add a single belt, scarf, or necklace in a noticeably different tone. That's the whole fix. Start to finish, and it usually takes under a minute to test before you even leave the bedroom. So here's the real secret, tying every one of these 7 together. The thing I want you to actually walk away with today. None of them are really about the color in isolation, and if you remember nothing else from this video, remember this part. They're about contrast. How much separation exists between your skin and whatever's sitting closest to it. Too much contrast, like jet black on softened skin, and the face looks harsh, overworked, fighting something it can't win against. Too little contrast, like pale pastels or flat beige, and the face disappears into the outfit entirely, with nothing left to define it. The wrong undertone, like the mismatched yellow, creates a contrast that fights your own chemistry instead of complementing it, working against you rather than for you. Every single fix on this list is really just finding your correct contrast level, not avoiding color altogether, and definitely not playing it safe forever. Once you understand that one idea, you don't need anyone's permission, and you genuinely don't need to memorize 7 separate rules every time you get dressed in the morning. You just need to ask one simple question. Is this color giving my face a clear edge to stand out against? Or is it quietly taking that edge away? That's the entire system, distilled down to one sentence you can actually remember at 7 in the morning, half awake, standing in front of your closet. Every one of these 7 has a real, easy fix, and you don't need a single new piece of clothing to start making them today. Just a different way of looking at what's already hanging in your closet, things you've probably owned for years without ever thinking about them this way. None of this is about chasing youth, and none of it means giving up the colors you genuinely love, the ones that feel like you. It's about wearing them in the version that actually works with the woman you are right now, not the version you bought decades ago and never reconsidered. You deserve to open your closet every single morning and reach for something that makes you look like the most vivid, most present version of yourself. Not a faded one, not a tired one, not an apologetic one. If this helped you see your own closet a little differently, give it a like. It genuinely helps this channel reach more women exactly like you. And subscribe for more of this every single week here on Style After 60. And tell me in the comments, which of these 7 colors is sitting in your closet right now? Maybe more than one of them if we're being honest. I read every single comment, and I genuinely want to know which one surprised you most. or which one you're going to test the very next time you get dressed.